What's going on? What's going on? Just had Charlo versus Derevyanchenko. Um, good fight. Charlo did his thing. Used the jab a lot in the beginning of the fight. Just jabbing, jabbing, jabbing. Keeping the distance. Derevyanchenko kind of in the middle of the rounds started to get in a little bit. And took Charlo about a couple of rounds to figure it out. But he pretty much after that started catching him with uppercuts, check left hooks, check right hooks. He would jab, check, jab, check, jab, check, jab, check. Started catching him with a lot of those. Beat the brakes off this kid. Um, he has a hard ass head. That's what I'll say about Derevyanchenko. He got hit with a lot of clean shots, like a lot of clean shots. And he shook a couple of times, but he didn't drop though. He didn't drop though. So, got to give him his props for that. But it was a pretty much one-sided fight. Derevyanchenko tried to make it a little bit tough. What I'm saying? Try to, fight rough, trying to push the pace inside, but he just ended up paying for it. I remember one round he was just getting hit with like headshot after headshot after headshot, trying to get in headshot after headshot after headshot. He was landing a couple of punches, mostly from Charlo bringing his head in, coming down to basically Derevyanchenko's level, and obviously with the different height differences and the way that Derevyanchenko was fighting is something that Charlo's not necessarily going to have to deal with it on a regular basis. But he did his thing. Completely dominated. This one's a situation was a robbery like it was against Derevyanchenko versus Gennady Golovkin. Some people think that Derevyanchenko might have beat Danny Jacobs. It wasn't one of those. This was just completely one-sided, and it sucks that Derevyanchenko did get robbed versus Danny Jacobs versus Gennady Golovkin, because if he didn't, this fight right here would have been for unification bout, and Charlo would have been unified right now. So they not only robbed Derevyanchenko, of being a champion when he fought against Gennady Golovkin, but they also robbed Charlo of the chance of basically being unified in this match. But he did his thing though. And what's next for him? I don't know. I'm guessing Eubank Jr. That's going to be the next big fight for him. I don't see him getting a fight against the likes of a Canelo. I don't see him getting a fight against the likes of a Demetrius Andres. Demetrius Andres stuck over there on the zone, who's furloughing people, who's, cutting jobs in the United States, who's cutting jobs in Brazil, who is also has let go a whole bunch of fighters, Tevin Farmer, who knows what the hell he's going to fight. He seems to be on freeze. And Demetrius Andres right now seems to be on freeze. Supposedly they're trying to set up a fight for him. We have to see what happens with that. You know what they're going to come up with him. Be like, yeah, we got this fight for you, but we need you to take this paper cut, what's called this money cut by 50%. What's up? And he got no choice but to take it. What's he going to do, sue them? Be at the ring for a year and a half? Whatever they come up to him with, he's going to have to take it. And he just signed an extension with them too. That's the crazy part about it. But to each his own. I don't see that fight happening. I don't see the Canelo fight happening. If Canelo stays with the zone, he's gonna fight. God, who knows? Whoever he wants to. If he ends up going into this lawsuit, it's gonna take him a while to get out of it. Once he gets out of it, I do believe he would sign with PBC. He would sign with Al Heyman, and I believe then next year sometime, a fight between him and Charlo would happen, whether it be at 160 or at 168, even if Charlo had to move to 168. But I think his focus right now should be staying at 160 pounds. That should be his sole focus, and just maintain over there and just be patient. And these opportunities should, come up for him eventually. And if Canelo's not going to go back down to 160, he should drop his 60-pound belt. He should drop that belt. I believe he has a WBA belt. Drop the belt. You know what I mean? It would have been cool if he had dropped the belt, if like a Eubank Jr. had fought for it. And then the fight between, Charlo and him could have been a unification, which would have been cool. But, that's obviously not what happened. So we'll see. But congratulations to Charlo. His brother fights later on tonight. And we'll see what happens with that. And Nery also just fought. Just saw that fight. Heard some talks about, how he would beat Gary Russell. Hell no. Gary Russell will beat the living daylights out of Nery. He will beat the living daylights out of Nery. He will beat the brakes off that boy. Two completely different levels of fighters, completely different level of class. One-sided tail whipping. Put respect on Gary Russell's name. But I gotta go see the big fight right now. So, like, subscribe, share. I'm out.